or maybe a major tournament like this. So I think I can understand in the side of Namibia, but we will see how about the second game because the draft pick started now. Akai is gonna be respect when coming from Namibia, and it's very interesting. Okay, oh sorry, actually yes, it's Vietnam. And Namibia is gonna be the second pick here, banning out that Funny.
Last time we saw the Fanny Ban, then the Wan and then the Martis from Team Namibia when they were on the red side up against Cambodia in game 1 of that match. This time the Wan is actually banned out by Team Vietnam with the Akai as well. So they're already showing respect to Namibia. Even though the Akai lost in game number 1, it still was a problem for them to deal with, right? They weren't able to end the game because of the Akai that constantly used the heavy spin to clear out the waves. But now Namibia, they're still opting to go for the Paquito.
Yes, that's right. And now, look at that. There's no Paquito, there's no Martis as well. Namibia, they can ban out that Kaja. I don't think giving Kaja into the hand of Vietnam is a really
It's
good.
risky.
Yes, it's not really a good option for Namibia. But yeah, we'll see. Or maybe they want to just contest it with Valentina if they want to. But 100% Vietnam will go for Kaja as the first pick.
Leomord also is an option for
Yep.
Team Namibia right now, but they will just go for the ban towards the Benedetta,
Oh.
respecting the king, but giving Vietnam the option to pick up a Kaja, Leomord, Valentina as well.
Yeah.
Valentina that gave them so much trouble in the first game up against Cambodia. And Vietnam can just choose to pick up the Valentina, dictating the draft from the get-go.
Yeah, I think Kaja will be the first pick for Vietnam, but no,
Valentina.
it's gonna be Valentina. Okay, and Namibia, they have their own nightmare right now.
You know, last time when a Valentina was first picked, Team Namibia, they picked up the Akai and then the Luoyi. So now with the Akai banned out, they can't go for that anymore. Luoyi still is an option. And another jungler that we have seen numeraholic play is the Balman. They go for the Valier instead, which is honestly a solid pickup here, but is it a bit too early to reveal the Valier? A hero that's, again, very vulnerable, very squishy, very easy to kill. Argus pick from Namibia!
Okay.
In the jungle, it does seem like, wow,
Wow, Argus?
wow.
It's very interesting because we know that how unique Namibia, right?
We saw the Ruby first pick, we
Yep.
saw the Luoyi, we saw the Vixana.
Yep.
Now we're seeing an Argus.
Oh, it's
And an
very
export.
interesting. Okay, export in the hand of Vietnam here. Meanwhile, Franco with the bloody hand and also the iron hook that coming from Vietnam, it's gonna be another nightmare for Namibia. Is
Well,
it gonna
the
be Faramis? So Faramis Roamer?
Faramis Rome could be an option
Could
here. We
be.
have, or well, Valir Rome, right? It's also an option here for Namibia, but they will go and lock that Faramis in. Now into the second banning phase we go. Namibia, the first ban here. This last time they went for the ban towards the Ling and the Hayabusa, respecting Cambodia. Now, will they go for the same? Noticing that Vietnam have not picked up a jungler. No,
No.
they'll go for the Claude.
I think they will just ban out the gold lane, you know?
The Beatrix next.
Trying to minimize the option for the gold lane heroes here. Is it gonna be Beatrix or Melissa? Or another Popol Koopa?
Uh-oh, but now you're also seeing the bans come in for Vietnam.
Yes.
That's the Clint ban.
the clean
We
ban.
might see a Popol ban, and if we do see that, that means Zubskop is going to have to play a hero he's not comfortable with.
Wow, is it gonna be, you know, maybe a Lila? Because we saw Lila yesterday.
Oh my god,
Oh
you're right.
my.
Cambodia actually picked the Layla. It was a mistake in the end, Momo-chan,
Yeah.
because they picked Joy and it was disabled. But it's an Angela ban. Again, Namibia, they did lose. They lost to the Angela in the first game against Cambodia. Cambodia, with the Lapu-Angela combo, were able to just, they did nasty things, man. They just 1v4 wins, 1v5 wins for Boom. And now Namibia, from that game, have learned that, hey, maybe the Angela might not be a wise decision, right? But now I do think it's going to be the Popol and Koopa ban for Vietnam. And oh, here it is. What will Zubska play?
There's still Melissa left behind.
Melissa, Brody,
Brody.
Bruno,
Mm-hmm.
Beatrix,
Leslie?
Leslie. You're right.
Leslie, right?
Oh man, Leslie.
There's still a
thing
lot
is
of
though,
options.
so far, Momo-chan, he's played the Clint and the Popo, both bullies in
Yes.
the lane, both really good in the early game.
Maybe
and
both of them are the most comfortable
exactly.
hero for
And
for
these two
him.
heroes are very good in the early stage, but he's lost in the early stage with
That's-
the two best early game heroes. If he goes for something like Leslie, I don't think he's gonna have a good time in that gold lane.
Actually, he needs someone can give in the pressure in the early game, but this Terisla for the EXP lane, Namibia, they already have enough CC actually. And with this Terisla, we can see the team fight duration for Namibia is quite long because they have the call altar as well from Faramis.
Well,
Meanwhile, the Bruno,
oh.
like we talked about it earlier, is being picked by Vietnam. Meanwhile, Ling is gonna be the jungler for Vietnam.
Well, with the Ling and now the Bruno, we're seeing the exact same as yesterday we saw Civ from Argentina, from S11.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up the Bruno. He was absolutely amazing at that Bruno. Now,
Mm-hmm.
like you mentioned, the Leslie gets picked up.
Leslie.
Namibia now up against Bruno, up against that Neymar skin. Look at that. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. But what do you think on the drafts? about the
Actually,
drafts?
as I know, Namibia's draft here more into the mid until the late game. They
Uh-huh.
have the early damage. It's only maybe from Valir, but not as much as Vietnam has. They have Ling here. They also have Valentina, which is with the Archangel is very, very painful. And also they have Franco as a pick-off hero here. So pick-off strategy might be work for Vietnam. Meanwhile, Namibia, they have to drag this game into the mid and the late game
Oh.
composition. So it will work for them. But if Vietnam keep forcing themselves to have a skirmish and also team fight in the early game, it's gonna be a nightmare for Namibia.
And if Bruno snowballs, man, that's a savage in the making. But ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to jump
Let's
into
go.
game number 2 of this match? Once again, it's Vietnam up against Namibia. Game 2. Vietnam have the chance to send Namibia home 2-0, not giving them a single game victory. But Nimraholic on the Argus is looking to change that.
Okay, meanwhile, there's no pressure coming from Namibia towards the purple buff. From Vietnam here, they just keep playing a little bit passive from both of the team, especially in Namibia. They play really, really carefully here. And Slasher giving us same pressure here. Meanwhile, the King is gonna be his 1v1 situation. And look at the Petrify that come from a Slasher. And he is able to back off.
Well, Turpy is going to be caught here and it should be a kill. But no, he actually gets out with the help of that sprint on that Faramis roam. So the Lethal Wanderer was actually secured, even though Joga was the one who used that retribution. But as I mentioned, this is it. This is what's going to happen onto the Leslie. Zubscop all alone in the gold lane. That's going to be Joga who jumps in, and that's going to be a kill for Joga onto Zubscop. Entropy rotated up top, but it's just for him to get slain by Hehe on that Bruno.
Oh my god. The first 2 members that has been taken down from Namibia, and we know this is what we discussed it earlier, Mirko. Namibia draft is more into the mid and the late game composition.
What?
So, and what in the
1
first
minute?
1 minute, and maybe he can get the second one, the second turret in the top lane. It makes that Zubscops totally cannot do anything.
What is he supposed to do against the Bruno? He picked the Leslie into a Bruno, this matchup that does not favor
penalty
him.
zone?
Especially with the Ling as well. There's so much kill pressure on this Leslie. And you can see 0-0 with the first turret taken down in the first minute of the game. They're looking to find compensation. Nimraholic here going to be suppressed by the Bloody Hunt, taken down, but he has his ultimate, so he's still able to survive. But the last Insanity is going to be popped by the King under the tier 1. They don't even care about turrets anymore. They take it down like it's absolutely nothing, Momo-chan.
Agree with that, and it's very, very hard. But look at that, the Iron Hook connects from the north here, trying to punish the NT with the purify and also the terrified that comes from the need my help here. It will makes actually
Whoa.
anti will able to survive. Meanwhile, it's gonna be needs my help that will be shut down by the member of Namibia.
Early. That's the first kill for Namibia right here in the game. But the turtle still falls to the hands of Vietnam. And now it does feel like, again, it feels like Numeraholic has lost complete control of the jungle now with the purple buff already being invaded on. The King, though, in a 2v1, goes over the last Insanity, dealing a whole lot of damage, but it's only the Cult Altar that gets popped. Meanwhile, down below, Slasher VT gets taken out. The King survives, and that's another turret over to the Bruno. Step the Blades popped in. Mort gonna be taken down. Numeraholic as well as that's Joga absolutely just styling, picking up all the blades.
Oh my god. And in the first hour, 4 minutes here, we already have seen, we actually already see that the goal differences is just way too much from both of the teams. And there's another point kill coming from Vietnam in the mid lane here. Meanwhile, they just let the minion do the job.
And they're also helping the minions. That's the tier 2. Taken out in the 3rd minute of the game. Penalty zone by Slasher VT as he tries to deal damage, but up against a fed Bruno, you're not going to be able to out-damage him, man. That's the snipe coming in. He's 1 HP, blocked in by Need My Help, who's able to jump in clutch with the flicker to help his teammate.
Oh, but meanwhile, the Iron Hook connects and Zupscope needs to run away, but meanwhile, Need My Help will try to follow up as soon as possible, and maybe it's going to be, I can say, more faster game.
It does feel
I
like
think
it
more
is.
Yeah, you know, it could be done in under, I don't know, 7 minutes, 6
They're going for the
8
record.
minutes?
Yeah, it does feel like they are going for the record. Numeraholic here used his ultimate earlier, so he won't be able to survive in the skirmish. Joga with the Tempest of Blades. Didn't need to use the Tempest of Blades, but hey, that's swag points.
I just want to secure the point kill miracle. And now the left. They just got 4 turrets in the first 5 minutes.
They did 4 turrets.
The dominance coming from Vietnam team. It's become a nightmare for Namibia. The mid-late game composition here, penalty zone comes in from Slasher, but look at that, the last Insanity connects to team member and 2 member downs in the mid lane.
Need My Help, though, stole away the ultimate from the Argus, so is going to be able to survive that one. They're already looking to siege the base turret down in the 5th minute. Purple buff. The entire jungle, no, not just the purple buff, the entire jungle, Momo-chan,
It's being infected already.
It's Vietnam's now. It's technically... Namibia doesn't have a jungle at this point. They're stuck inside of their base. They're getting suffocated slowly but surely. And when a Bruno does that much damage to a Terizla...
Look at the volleyball.
Ow!
It's painful from Hehe because no one from Namibia can stop this guy. Okay, meanwhile, there's gonna be like 5 versus 5 situation in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, there's gonna be Argus comes up, but the last Insanity comes in. Penalty zone is quite a little bit late, and the killing spree goes into the hand of Vietnam, and it's left Zupscope, and I think it's gonna be another wipe out for Vietnam, and 6-minute games for Vietnam, 2-0 without any things that Namibia can do in the second game.
6